Welcome back to the Delaware Way. Hurricane Florence, as you know, was devastating in the mid-Atlantic states, North and South Carolina, a little bit of Virginia. And there were a lot of animals that were strays because of Hurricane Florence that made their way up here. To talk about that and the Delaware SPCA is Kelly Hilary, who is the shelter operations manager of the Delaware SPCA, and she has a very excited friend with her. Who's this?
This is Brieanna.
Is Brieanna available for adoption?
Yes, she is. She is actually a dog from Delaware. She was actually brought into one of the local shelters by the Office of Animal Welfare as a neglect case back in March. We've had her since April.
She seems to be doing well. Yeah,
as you can see, she's a very playful pup. This is her first adventure out of the shelter in quite a while, so she's
been here for a while and has been great. Has been perfect. She's got a great temperament.
Taking it all in. A little bit scared at first, but as you can see, she warmed right up.
We'll get back to Brieanna in a second to talk about how people can adopt Brieanna and some of the other dogs at the shelter. But I know that many of the animals, not just dogs, but animals from the hurricane were brought up to Delaware.
Yes, that is correct.
And how did they get here, and how are they available still?
Yes, so many of them have been adopted, and there are still several that are up for adoption. Basically, all of the animal welfare organizations in Delaware work together. Brandywine Valley SPCA headed up the effort. They have a hurricane hub shelter down in Georgetown. They did all the transportation and vetting, and then all of the rescue partners, ourselves included, then pooled and shared in the efforts taking animals into the shelter. So we took about approximately 15 dogs and cats from the hurricane hub a few weeks ago, and I would say at least half of those animals have been adopted.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. How many animals do you have up for adoption right now?
We have approximately 85 in our shelter, dogs and cats both.
Are you looking at that person and that family as much as they're looking at the dog?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So it is a big matchmaking process. So usually the potential adopter will go down the line and pick out the dogs or cats that they are interested in. But we have to match the home to that animal. Every personality is different, every need is different, so we have to make sure that, you know, if you're taking a dog home, that dog is good with children, if there's children in the home. If it's a cat that is outgoing or shy, we want to make sure that that home is suitable for that pet so that it's successful and that they can live their life out with that adopter.
You talk about cats, and I know that one of the big issues over the last few years in Delaware has been the feral cats.
Yes. And
I saw that Governor Carney recently signed a bill that I know your organization and many other organizations have been pushing for. And I know there's a lot to the bill, but basically it makes it so that the animal cruelty laws apply to stray cats as much as they do to home cats.
Yes. So dog control has been, you know, the top of the list for many, many years. And the cats kind of have gotten pushed to the wayside, so we've been focusing efforts a lot more on making life better for cats. There's so many, it's an overpopulation issue. So efforts have been mainly on spay and neuter efforts to try to keep that under control. Many feral cats, you know, they don't want to come into a home and be someone's pet. They're happy to live outside, but a lot of people, there's a lot of caretakers out there that take care of feral cat colonies all over the state. And in years past, if you were caring for an animal and that animal wasn't following the protocol, such as having a rabies vaccine or being spayed and neutered, those caretakers could potentially be fined. This new law will release them from that. So that they don't have to worry about fear of getting in trouble for helping to care for the cats. So it just kind of makes everybody work together a lot more cohesively.
And you're allowed to keep the cats a little bit longer if necessary. It used to be that you had to keep them for a small amount of time, and then, but if necessary, they need medical treatment or something, you're allowed to keep them longer.
Every animal, cats, you know, dogs included, that come into our shelters are evaluated, you know, behaviorally, medically, and you know, if they're seem to be a feral cat, sometimes living outside, it's hard to determine whether they're truly a wild feral cat or this is an example of wild here, or if they're adoptable, you know.
He wants to play. He's getting used to the play.
She's like sitting still for so long. Yeah.
Let's talk about Brieanna. Let's try to get Brieanna. adopted. How old is Brieanna?
She is approximately 3 years old.
No, she still looks like a puppy.
Yes, she is a Staffordshire Terrier mix, we believe. We don't know for certain, but she's definitely got some Staffordshire Terrier in her, which is where that energy comes from. She's a lover. She will roll right over and let you rub her belly, but she's also got a lot of playfulness in her. Yes, come here. She's been in the shelter, for quite a while, since the spring. So these dogs.
Where does somebody come to adopt Brieanna or any of her roommates?
I'm sorry?
Where does somebody come to adopt Brieanna?
We're at the Delaware SPCA, which is in Stanton, over by Deltec Community College in the mall. So they would just come right into our shelter, and if she's interested, we would have them fill out an application. And as long as it's a suitable home for Brieanna, then they would be able to take her home.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Kelly Hilary is the Shelter Operations Manager at the Delaware SPCA, and she takes care of Brieanna and, as we heard, 84 other pets that are all available for adoption. That wraps up the Delaware Way for this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Larry Menti. We'll talk again next week.